Hey everyone, let's talk about Mortal Kombat 2021. Now, this movie had a lot more than I expected to. I was thinking it was a B movie. It's gonna be decent to average to probably bad because it's a video game movie and we all know about the track record with video game movies. But anyway, this has a lot of that 90s era charm and camp, which I don't see too much of nowadays. So let's start off with the action since it is an action movie overall based on an action game franchise. Especially the action in that opening scene. Oh my god, that was sick. I was watching hoping every other following fight in the movie would maintain like that level of awesomeness, and for the most part it did, so I can't complain there. The fatalities were amazing. Even, spoiler alert, watch it, Kung Lao's fatality was the best in the whole movie, without a doubt. Straight out of, I think it was MK9. I love that one. The execution even when he says flawless victory, I was like, yo, that's so corny, but it's so good. They nailed it. This movie nails a lot of things. One of those things being Kano. Kano's a dick, but he's likable. Like, he carried the whole movie and he was enjoyable to watch. Like the rest of this movie. Like, I think Josh Lawson really embodied this douchebag video game character that was like fun to watch. Like, it just jumped from the video game to the silver screen or the TV screen, depending on how you're watching. So it was great. His performance was great. Another thing this nailed was the character costumes. I really enjoyed the character costumes. I feel like some of them had like a retro look, like the first Mortal Kombat games, and I think like Liu Kang, he had more of a modern look, like he had one of the costumes from MK11, I believe. So I like that. So the aesthetics in this movie are great. Oh, and of course Cabal too. Cabal is my main in Mortal Kombat 11, so it was cool to see him have this live action contemporary look. It was a good looking costume. Like I said, the aesthetics in this movie are great. They were great. Something not so great was the story, unfortunately. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's horrible, but at some points it was just kind of, dare I say, mid. And I wouldn't be saying that if it weren't, fortunately for Raiden. Oh my god, Raiden sucks in this movie, dude. He didn't have a godlike presence in this. He's more of a grumpy old head coach who doesn't know how to get his team better. I don't know. I know he said he can't interfere or whatever bullshit. But he couldn't at least teleport Kung Lao away from Shang Tsung before Shang Tsung fatalities him? Like, don't get me wrong, that Shang Tsung moment was really sick, but Raiden, I did not like Raiden in this movie at all. He didn't have a godlike presence. He was just a teleporter in this. Like, he wasn't like a fighting god. You know what I mean? He was just transport. He was just annoying transport in this movie. Annoying means of transportation. So, yeah, his presence or his non-presence or his annoying, grumpy old head coach presence, that kind of brought down the story for me. Because if he was like a little bit more likable, and if he didn't just keep repeating that he couldn't interfere, which he could have, and I wasn't annoyed by that, I feel like that would have bolstered the story a little bit more for me. But yeah, his lack of action annoyed me, and the fact that he's such like a main force in this realm, in this Mortal Kombat multiverse, that kind of brought it down for me. Another moment for the story that didn't work for me was when Cole became the leader of the group after Liu Kang just said, oh, Kung Lao just got wrecked, and nobody seemed to care about that. That was kind of weird to me. No one cared. But yeah, all of a sudden Cole's leader, after spending the whole movie saying, oh, I'm not the fighter I used to be. I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm that. And just quickly, I want to mention he had that moment when Jax picked him up in the truck and he said, you want to take on Sub-Zero together? After telling Jax that he's not the fighter he used to be. Like dude, how are you going to take... Like, dude, I mean, I'm saying dude a lot. How are you going to take on an ice-powered demigod when you just lost an amateur fight for $200 after telling some random guy you're not the fighter you used to be? Like, that's your time to make a comeback? I'm gonna come back against a ice-powered demigod. I don't know. That part was kind of weird to me. It was kind of funny though. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at it. But anyway, back to that Shang Tsung moment. Like I said, it was pretty sick. I love how it mirrored the MK9 scene perfectly and gorefully. And because of that moment, there was much more weight added to Shang Tsung's presence in the movie. Raiden did not have a moment like that. Therefore, we did not feel his presence, and Raiden was so whack. I can't stop saying that. But yeah, I like Shang Tsung in this movie. I like how him and his team kept attacking. They were like the Fire Nation from Avatar. They had a really antagonistic aura and force that was felt throughout the whole movie. That was pretty dope. Back to Cole for a bit. I like Cole's Arcana being his pain and getting his ass kicked. I mean, it was sort of cool. It was mostly lame because he had to get his ass kicked to get it. But I mean, it was sort of cool. At least it will be interesting to see how they use his Arcana in the sequels, how he'll absorb attacks and all that. I think that should be really fun to watch. Now, onto the final fight. It was pretty epic. The only thing I was expecting to be iffy on was Scorpion's "get over here," because in the trailer to me, I was kind of meh on it, but in the actual movie, it sounded a lot better. So I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. The fight itself, it was great. It was great. They nailed it. Like I said, they nailed it like pretty much everything in this movie when it comes to the combat. I like how Sub-Zero leads Cole to that ice boxing gym for the sake of being dramatic. He had no other reason to other than the sake of being dramatic. So that was really cool to me, no pun intended. Also, another thing that was cool to me, no pun intended again, I promise, was when Sub-Zero popped up at Cole's family's house. When the mom walked out of the bathroom, he just popped up behind the front door. I think that was awesome. That was like a horror movie shot, and I really enjoyed that. A couple more things about the final fight. It was awesome to see Scorpion's original fatality. It was very awesome. I enjoyed watching that in live action. It was confusing to see Bihan take off his armor for no reason. For seemingly no reason. At first I thought he was taking it off because it was cracked or broken or something, but it seemed perfectly fine to me. He started taking off his armor. He willingly exposed himself to more hits. I'm not sure why that happened, but it was still cool to see Scorpion's fatality, so I guess that doesn't matter. So I'll start wrapping this up. I love the Easter eggs and nods to the other characters like Shao Kahn, Katana, and Sindel, I believe, and I think maybe even Baraka. And I believe Kano picked up what I think was Shinnok's amulet. So I enjoyed seeing that stuff, and we'll definitely see them in the next movie. And the most obvious Easter egg of all, Johnny Cage at the end. That was cool. Unfortunately, that did make the movie feel like more of a setup or pilot than a movie on its own merit, but that's fine. I think the actor for Sub-Zero signed on for 3 more movies. I just would have preferred if it was like just great on its own merit instead of feeling like a pilot or a setup movie. But anyway, that's fine. I predict we'll see Katana and Shao Kahn as the antagonists of the sequel. And I also predict that we'll see Kano back, except this time he has his cyborg eye. I also predict that we'll see an official tournament as well. And that's all I can predict for now. So to wrap this up, I'll leave a list of some pros and cons. And I will give Mortal Kombat 2021 a rating of 7.5 Liu Kang low sweeping kicks. Out of 10. And I would also like to know, who's your casting pick for Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2? Personally, I think The Miz could pull it off. And I will also see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.